So I noticed today that Shawn Michaels has the third ever 150-dime college football release of his career, and it's on the game that goes at 3:30 between Tulsa and Navy. Of course, last Saturday, he had the second ever 150-dime college football play of his career, and he is one of the charter members of the site, some 16 years strong, when he had West Virginia 13.5-point favorite in Morgantown, and the Mountaineers kicked TCU's ass 47-10. I made that the featured play last Saturday at half price, and I'm going to do the same thing today with the Tulsa Navy game. It's going to be half price simply by using coupon code HALF. And Shawn happens to be the winningest football handicapper here at the site over the past 7 years with $10 bettors and NFL and college combined, making it a little over $15,600 as he goes for winner number 14 out of 21 over the past 5 weeks. And keep in mind, with 100-dime max plays, his normal top-rated plays, he's won 6 out of 8 in college football the past 4 weeks. And of course, in the NFL, those plays are 79 and 52 over the past 7 seasons, and this play is bigger than all of them. So when I was looking at that particular game, I thought, well, I had handicapped that game. It was a play that I gave some serious consideration to today, and it's a team Navy and a team Tulsa that I had followed religiously all season, so I'm going to use them. That particular game is one of my 2 complimentary plays today. The other, the game between Purdue and Wisconsin. So those are going to be your 2 complimentary plays on this card today as they both go on the mid-afternoon slate. It is not a great Saturday college football card. The other big featured play, though, tonight, I will tell you, comes from Chris Jordan, who has a play that matches his biggest of the season, his Double Your Wager 2000 Star College winner, number 37 of 55, his second of the season. It goes at 10:30 Eastern Time out in Eugene. The Oregon Ducks taking on Arizona State, a 10:30 Eastern kickoff. His only other 2000 Star winner, I think it came back in week number 3. It was Army over Hawaii. You get it, the Saturday night bailout. For over half price off by using coupon code LATE. He has made college football $1 bettors, a little over $13,000 the past 2.5 seasons, and with 1,000 star plays or higher, and a 1,000 star play is his top-rated selection. 1,000 star plays or higher in all sports since 2006. He's made $1 bettors a little over $163,000. All your other discounts and coupon codes are over on the homepage. So let's talk about that game between Navy and Tulsa. 2 teams that have certainly played poorly this season. Navy is a 6-point chalk in Annapolis, and this is their lone home game in a 6-game stretch. This, of course, being senior day. 34 seniors being honored here in the pregame ceremonies. Navy has won 16 consecutive regular season home finales, so this game is important. Is it as important as the game against Army? Of course it is not, but there is certainly a tradition here to be upheld for the midshipmen. Now, the problem with Navy, and this is, again, a team that I have followed all season long, is Navy got away from being, shall I say it this way, Navy got away from its bread and butter, the triple option, because it changed its offensive philosophy a little this season because of its change in quarterbacks. Went with a guy by the name of Perry at the quarterback position, who really is more traditional of a slot back, because they were trying to take advantage of his speed and athleticism. The problem is he was not necessarily that good at reading defenses and making the pitch, which is so critical if you're going to run the triple option. Last year's starter, Zach Abbey, was moved to wide receiver at the outset of the season. Well, eventually they moved Perry back to running back, and they went with somebody else at quarterback. Then they turned back to Zach Abbey, who, again, started last year for the bulk of the season before suffering a shoulder injury, started this season at wide receiver. They moved him back to quarterback. Last week against Central Florida, he struggled in the first half, but then in the second half, he really got it going. And Navy perhaps had its best game of the year running the triple option, had a season-high 374 yards rushing, and a game Central Florida jumped out to a quick 21-0 lead. Navy made a game of it and covered in Orlando and a 35-24 loss, and ran more triple option, pure triple option plays than it did all season long. And again, Abbey, because of his experience, did a much better job at reading the keys and distributing the ball in the backfield. The slot backs had 185 yards rushing. The fullbacks had 105 yards rushing. And he himself, on 26 carries, had 85 yards and 2 carries. So this is going to be his second straight start. Of course, last year, in a 31-21 win at Tulsa, he had 185 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, of course, Navy enters this game with a 7-game losing streak, and you're being asked to lay 6 points with a team in the midst of a lengthy losing streak. And Tulsa is coming off a 47-21 loss at Memphis. You saw Memphis play an absolutely horrific game. Won and covered last night against SMU, but if you watch that game, oh my gosh, it was a bad football game by both teams. But the Tigers in that game against Tulsa had 499 total yards. They ran for 297, 5.4 yards per carry. Tulsa's only wins this year came against Central Arkansas and Division II team and a 1-9 Connecticut team. But Tulsa has been competitive in most of their games otherwise. The Tulsa run defense, though, 120th among 129 FBS schools in the rankings, giving up 234.7 yards a game and a little over 5 yards a carry. So I think the way to go in this game is to lay the points with Navy in its only home game in a 6-game stretch on Senior Day against a Golden Hurricane team that has struggled to get anything going offensively all season long, that is playing in the second of back-to-back road games against a Golden Hurricane defense that has allowed 117 points in the last 3 meetings in this series. Again, you're being asked, though, however, to lay 6 points with a team that has lost 7 straight games. So that's the way I would play the game. But again, it's only a free play for me, and Shawn Michaels has the monster play on this game, so I would defer to his opinion on this one. Now, the other game is going to be Purdue. Minus now 3.5. Boilermakers were 4 at home against Wisconsin. This is a team, Purdue, that has lost 11 consecutive games against the Badgers. What has Purdue done for you lately? Well, at home, they played like gangbusters. 2 weeks ago, used a last-second field goal to escape with the push in a 2-point win against Iowa. 2 weeks prior to that, they beat the hell out of Ohio State at home. I mean, remember, demolished the Buckeyes, handing them Urban Meyer his first loss of the season. And 2 weeks prior to that, they absolutely manhandled Boston College at home. The problem is when you take the Boilermakers out of West Lafayette, Indiana, they are a different team, as we saw last week when Minnesota kicked their asses. And the Golden Gophers aren't that good. And we saw 2 weeks prior when Purdue followed up that big win against Ohio State with an absolute clunker in East Lansing, Michigan against Michigan State, another team that had won at that point 8 straight in that series against the Boilermakers. Well, Wisconsin comes into this game with some quarterback issues. Alex Hornibrook is in post-concussion protocol. I've read that he's doubtful to questionable for this contest. I can tell you this, the Badgers have lost 2 of their last 3 games. The only win came against Rutgers. It was a game he played at home. They lost road games in that stretch at Northwestern and at Penn State last week, and those 2 games he didn't play. Now, they can run the ball, Wisconsin can, and Purdue can't stop the run. Purdue, though, however, at home has covered 11 of its last 14, and I say you go with the Boilermakers here minus the 3.5 points at that point spread. I'm obviously going to encourage you to buy down the half point and go with the Boilermakers here. So Purdue and Navy would be my 2 choices today, and I think Purdue is the stronger of the 2 choices. That'll do it. Talk to you again tomorrow when we do it again. Good luck.